Welcome back to RollForTuraco. This is Frank. A while ago, I uploaded a video about a speech. It was the actual speech that I delivered, and people liked it. I got some comments, some positive comments. Uh, and sometime after that, I was able to deliver that speech again, but this time I recorded it. And I think it was at a good angle. So you actually see me a little bit more you know, in front of a lectern, so you can see some of the things that I'm talking about. But I was debating whether to upload it or not because that speech is already here. I thought it was a good speech. Got some positive feedback. I didn't want to just put the same content on so soon after the first one. Uh, but there is some differences, and this time it is a video, so it's not just a static image that you're seeing on your screen. You are seeing actual footage of me delivering this speech, and now you can see some of the things that I'm actually showing and talking about. And there's a little bit new content because I mentioned something that had just uh, happened a day before, or maybe it was like 2 days before. So there's that. I am going to do an edit, uh, and so you might notice that. And the reason for that edit is, I say a joke that didn't really land, and I think it would have if I explained it. But if I have to explain the joke, then it's not funny, and it's very niche, so not everyone would understand it. So I'm just gonna take that little piece out, and it should affect the rest of the speech. But again, I just thought it'd be something to have on here, and something that you can actually watch, so you can see how I move when I'm delivering speeches. And plus, I'm wearing a cool shirt. Without further ado, here is that video. The game master shouts, "Roll for initiative." The sounds of dice hits the table. It can be echoed in the room. Rolling for initiative is what you do when you want to find out who goes first. Usually I'll roll a dice and everyone takes a turn. The highest number goes first. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, this weekend I had the opportunity to run a DnD game at my local library. My players were my children. It was a time to spend with my kids and play this game that my oldest son wanted to try out, Dungeons and Dragons. I ran a version of Dungeons and Dragons based on an older edition, and I used Basic Fantasy, 4th edition. Now you can see a book like this, and it can be intimidating because it's a lot of rules and mechanics. What I did, I printed out a simpler version that I found online, and this is just 14 pages. This is a lot less intimidating. The reason I got into Dungeons and Dragons was a few years ago, I wanted to learn more about the game because I've heard many different things. Growing up in the late 80s and to the mid 90s, I was told this is evil, this is demonic, this is witchcraft. So I stayed away because I don't want to play with witchcraft. It's a game of imagination where you create your characters. And one of my favorite things is creating. So I came up with these character booklets for characters of myself that I wanted to play. And my kids are actually their character sheets. where they write what their character is about, and they keep track of what their stats are, what money they have, what equipment they have. It's a game of imagination and creativity. And when my oldest son told me, Dad, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons next time we're there. Great, I had already been doing research and I already had some of the equipment. I had my miniatures, I had dice, many dice, and I had my books. My son saw this game on a TV show, Stranger Things. I haven't seen Stranger Things, but he was telling me about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I know a little bit about that, and this is going to be a great opportunity to have that experience with my son. And then I realized when they were here, oh, I have to actually do a lot of rules. I have to fulfill my role, not just as the game master, which is the GM, and he's the one that runs the game. I have to become a voice actor. If they ran into big, scary ogres, I was portraying those ogres. If they ran into a little kid on the street, I had to be that little kid. And I was also fulfilling my role as a father, spending quality time with my children and playing a game that requires imagination. They love games. Most of those games are video games, which I enjoy, but I wanted to get them out of that for a while. I want to get their minds working because in a game like Dungeons and Dragons, you're coming up with scenarios and problems that they have to solve. So now their minds are working, and they're also learning a little bit of math because you have to keep track what you're rolling, what your stats are, what's going into your inventory. So I have to fulfill my role also as a banker. Suddenly now I'm a banker. I went from a dad at home to being a banker, being a voice actor, being a game master, all of these things. Sometimes I'm even the monster. Sometimes I'm the hero that helps them. So there's a lot of roles that go into this game. When the kids were here, we were finally there at the library. The library had asked me if I would run a game for everyone because I was asking questions if they had any clubs. What they told me was, if you want a club, you have to do it. So I had to fulfill another role and be a club leader. So I created a club for that day. They put up flyers. I let people know. People were interested, but no one showed up except my kids, which turned out fine because the library provided snacks and water for us, so they funded my family time. That was a great part. As we were playing and rolling dice, writing down our stats, I turned over to Donna, my little one. She's got a mouthful of candy, milk duds, and Dad is good. She's having a great time. My other sons, they're going over their loot, what spells they want to use, what dagger they want to use, what do they want to do to defeat the enemy. We're playing a pirate game. So they're having a great time doing all that. And I had to create a world, I had to create a scenario, I had to create a map. So now I'm a cartographer, someone that makes maps. At the end, we had a good time, and they wanted to do it again. It's like, can we continue the story? Like, I'm not sure we have time, kids, because they were here on a time limit themselves. They're only here for 2 weeks. And they were on their way home. But before that, I was able to arrange a smaller game just for the 4 of us. And that's when they came up with these characters. And I had already drawn up these NPCs, non-player characters, and they had an adventure where they met these two fighters. And my eldest son is now training in the game with these two fighters because he wants to be a fighter. And that's where we left off. So I not only fulfilled my role as a father, a game master, a creative, a banker, I fulfilled a role of just being there, just being someone that they can count on, they can jump into any situation. I rolled for the initiative. I took the initiative to do this, and I encourage others to try something new. Try a game you've never heard of. Try a new restaurant, something you haven't done before, and bring your family along. And that's how I fulfilled my role. Back to you, Toastmaster. I hope you liked that video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. You know, was this speech a little bit better than the other one I already have on this channel, or you know, is that one better? I thought people would actually like to see, to see what I'm doing, and you know, the new stuff that I added towards the end. I think I will deliver this speech a fourth time. Now, whether it goes up on this channel or not, that's a different story. But I will do my best to record it. And I think in that speech I can mention RollForTuraco. Hey, as long as I'm delivering speeches about role-playing games, might as well get the channel out there. Throw the name there, people can look it up. Anyways, I don't know when that's gonna be. I try to deliver it with a different audience. Sometimes that audience overlaps, but we'll see when I'll have that opportunity again. And if you like this video, leave a comment, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, hey, you can subscribe. And this is totally up to you, but if you would like to leave a tip, there is a tip jar in the description below, and you can click on that. It's PayPal, but it is not necessary. It's just something something extra, but it's not mandatory. But thank you for watching this video, and there'll be new videos coming out soon. This has been Frank Salazar, and don't forget to roll for Turaco. We'll see you next time.